We're back for another episode of Audio Able, and today we're discussing vocational rehabilitation. For those watching this episode on our YouTube page, my name is Steph Conti. I'm a Hispanic female with brown curly hair. I have a blue blouse on with black headphones. If you're not familiar with vocational rehabilitation or VR, their mission is to help individuals with disabilities find and maintain employment, as well as enhance their independence. And in Florida, the VR program began all the way back in 1925. Today, we're joined by Brent McNeil, Director of the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation at the Florida Department of Education, as well as Willette Bowers, Ticket to Work Program Administrator. Brent and Willette, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Wonderful. So now I know VR has so many resources available for the disability community, for job seekers, employers, and even providers and vendors. Brent, the first question is for you. Let's touch on how individuals can get started and who qualifies for these services.
Sure. So anyone with a disability in Florida who's interested in getting, keeping, or advancing in a job can be referred for VR services. And an individual can complete the referral for themselves, or they can often be referred by another entity. For instance, students are often referred by their schools. In order to be considered eligible for VR services, a person must have a physical or mental disability that results in a significant barrier to their employment. And they must need VR services to find, get, keep, or advance in a job.
Perfect. So one of the amazing programs that VR offers for job seekers is the Ticket to Work program. Willette, can you tell us how you can become a ticket holder and who is eligible for the Ticket to Work services?
Sure. So the Ticket to Work program is actually a Social Security Administration program, and it is specifically designed for persons with disabilities. So to be eligible for the program, a person has to be between the ages of 18 and 64, and they have to be receiving a disability benefit, that being either Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, and or Social Supplemental Security Income, SSI. So that kind of covers the eligibility piece for this program. But in addition to that, they have to actually want to work. They actually have to have an employment goal. So to be notified by the Social Security Administration, they just have to simply get their disability benefits, and they'll get that documentation from the Social Security Administration, letting them know who will actually serve them, such as vocational rehabilitation, to receive those services.
Got you. So what are some things that customers can do to be successful in this program?
Well, as you stated earlier, VR has been around a long time. So VR is in the business of helping people find employment, but that's just one part of the equation. The other part of the equation is the customer or participant, him or herself. So we definitely want to make sure that they are involved in the program. They are involved in their success. So we have our program set up with all kinds of services to make sure that we are setting them up for success, to be employed and maintain employment. So one thing that we want to do is make sure that they are getting what they need and their goals are being met. So one thing we want them to do is definitely maintain contact with their counselors. That's simply just having an up-to-date email address, and phone number. So that's one of the key things that we definitely want them to do. And that's generally speaking. But if we're talking about our disability beneficiaries specifically, we definitely want them to know how working is going to impact their benefits. The last thing we want someone to do is to start working, and then all of a sudden their benefits stop and they not know why. So we have VR supports the Work Incentives Planning and Assistance Program, and it's also known by its acronym WIPA. And that's designed for people to make an informed choice about working and how working will actually impact their benefits.
Beautiful. So that's great. And, with all those tips in mind, it's important to note too that having an Able United account is an additional tool that an individual can have in their tool belt of resources. And it gives them the ability to save beyond the asset limit imposed by Medicaid and SSI, as well as pay for any expenses that can come up. So final question for you, Brent. We always like to close our episodes with this one. If listeners were to take one thing away from our conversation today, what would it be?
Well, great question. We're here to help people with disabilities who want to work and who might be looking to take that next step on their career path. So I would recommend that job seekers take advantage of the services offered by Willette and her team, and as well as the benefits of the Able United account.
Great. Well, Brent and Willette, it has been an absolute pleasure to sit down with you for another episode of Audio Able. We hope our listeners learned something new today. And for more information on all of the incredible resources that VR has to offer, please visit rehabworks.org.